Hello, YouTube. Greetings. Jordan here. Welcome back to Geordie's Basement, live from the basement, the actual basement today, where I'm trying to convert into a music room. Currently, I have upstairs vinyl and CDs, and I have downstairs some CDs. I'm trying to move it all down here eventually. And, all of you longstanding physical copy lovers who don't live alone will certainly appreciate that. It's hard to make it mix and make it right and make everyone happy. So I'm kind of morphing, hopefully to end up down here full time with everything. Anyway, today I'm here to share with you just some recent pickups, including some cool stuff that I got and a massive unboxing at the end that I'll share with you as well. One of my favorite quarantine activities has been filling in some discographies on my CD/vinyl or physical copy need list. It's been fun going on eBay and trying to pick up stuff cheap. CDs are so cheap these days, and I still really enjoy listening to CDs. So as long as it's a physical copy, I'm going to be seeking it if it's something I like. So I want to start out, I have this kind of in sections, and I'll start out with some CD, just fill-ins, all over the place in terms of genre. The first one's Seal. Seal is one of my favorite pop singers, really, of all time. His first three albums are absolutely pop perfection. That voice is amazing. The first two self-titled, and then Human being the third. This is an album called Soul that he did in 2008, which is just a bunch of covers. Change is Gonna Come. People Get Ready. It's covers. I didn't have it, so being the completist, I had to have it, so I picked that up. One from Howard Jones, quite possibly my favorite pop artist to come out of the 80s, Howard Jones. This is an album that I never owned physically. So People is the album. That's 1998. So you can imagine, I think I paid like $1.50 plus shipping or something like that. So Howard Jones, People. And then a bunch from a band that gets me roasted quite often when I see a band. It's kind of a loose, it's probably not a band, a group, a couple of guys. I get roasted a lot for liking these guys. I stand by it. I think they're fantastic. I'm talking about Pet Shop Boys. Yes, I do like Pet Shop Boys. I'm a progressive rock guy that likes Pet Shop Boys. What can you say? Some albums that I never owned physically, which is incredible. Yes. And then there's a deluxe edition of Release. Fundamental, which is one that I surprisingly never owned, produced by Trevor Horn. And then the very first album, the debut Pet Shop Boys album, Please, which I always lukewarm liked. I really prefer the 2, 3, 4, and 5 albums much more. But Please is the very first one, the one that broke them here in the States with West End Girls, Love Comes Quickly, and them. There's some good hit singles, but it's very dated, very 1985 sounding. And the Pet Shop Boys have traditionally, really since then, been had a sound that you can play today or in the 80s, and nobody would even know where it came from. So I am a huge Pet Shop Boys fan, and I'm not apologizing for it. All right, so that's filling in the holes. Let's talk about some new stuff that I got. I think I might have mentioned some of these briefly before, but this is the new Kim Mitchell album, The Big Fantasize. And if you're not familiar with Kim Mitchell and you're a guitar rock fan, you really need to get into him. I say his sound is very Canadian. Obviously, he is Canadian, and it sounds kind of stupid. It sounds Canadian, but if you're a Rush fan, and Triumph, and even though other people may not be able to relate to that Canadian sound, it is. It's not just in the way that he sings. It has that Canadian feel to it. I know that sounds probably stupid, but anyway, Kim Mitchell, The Big Fantasize. He's been away for some 15 years. He had a radio show, doing some other things. But he was in a band called Max Webster in the 70s. That was really a lot of fun. And then he branched out in 83 with his first solo album. The last few solo albums dating back to the mid-2000s I haven't really liked. But this is a huge comeback. This is a really good record. Some of it's rather Americana sounding, but I do highly recommend it. It's got only 9 tracks. This 9 tracks plus this CD has 4 bonus tracks on it. So it's kind of a short album. It's easy, and there's a song called Too Up to Be Down that is just a pop rock perfect, one of my songs of the year. Kim Mitchell, The Big Fantasize. If you can find that, grab it. Next, another one of my albums of last year, I finally picked up on CD. I don't know, I was being stubborn. I didn't want to pay full price for it, and I thought I could probably pick it up for $6, $7. In the end, it didn't happen. Blue Oyster Cult, The Symbol Remains. I think it was my number 3 or 4 album from last year. I finally had the physical copy of it. I'm embarrassed to say I should have had this much sooner. But these guys are in their 70s, Buck Dharma, Eric Bloom. And it's really amazing they can still do this. This album is very long. It has one fault, probably that it's a bit too long, and there is some filler, but there are some fantastic, just straight up rock tracks. There's no fluff to them. It's not overproduced. It's very well produced actually and very well performed. Three lead singers, Dharma Bloom, and they have the bassist who's quite a bit younger than them, the new guy, and it's really good. The Symbol Remains. I highly recommend it. All right, another one. Wow. Okay, so this is what can I say about this? I don't want to be critical. This is the Dead Daisies. The album is Holy Ground. Those of you who don't know the Dead Daisies, they're sort of a super group. They've been around for 3-4 albums now, and they have rotating members. They come and go. And for this new version of Dead Daisies, John Corabi, who was the singer and co-guitarist on the last one or two, left, and they bring in one of my all-time favorite musicians, Glenn Hughes. So Glenn, in my opinion, and it's my opinion, so we can argue about that in the comments, but Hughes is the greatest hard rock singer in the history of rock. Number one, they call him the voice of rock for a reason. My one problem with Hughes over the years, just because he's the greatest singer doesn't make him the greatest songs, has been the songs. His albums have been sort of inconsistent. He's been a solo artist since he left Deep Purple practically and Trapeze in the 70s. So since like the early 80s to today, he's very prolific. He's put out a lot of solo albums. Some have been great, some not so great. But on every one, the singing is just fantastic. So when I heard that Dead Daisies brought in Hughes, I thought, okay, this is something I want to pay close attention to. And then I heard Doug Aldrich is on guitar, and he's a monster guitarist. Dean Castronovo on drums, tremendous drummer and a great vocalist as well. So this band is very appealing to me. I pick up the record, and from the first note, I noticed something right away. This really is a Glenn Hughes solo album. No disrespect to the rest of the guys. The playing is great. The production is terrific. The songs are Glenn Hughes. There's no mistaking this. If you have Glenn Hughes' last solo album, Resonate, which I believe was 2016, this sounds like it could have been songs from Resonate. It's that similar. And I know you're going to get Glenn Hughes. You're going to get the funky hard rock, power rock stuff, and it's going to be Hughesy because he's helping write the songs. I was kind of hoping for something a little different on this one. I don't know what I was hoping for, but something different. Instead, we got really what amounts to a Glenn Hughes solo album. He is 69 years old, and you listen to Like No Other, listen to Bustle and Flow, listen to My Fate. The voice will make the hairs on your neck stand up. It's unbelievable. And Castronovo does a turn as a vocalist on a cover called 30 Days in the Hole on it as well. He's tremendous. He left the band, Castronovo, shortly after this album came out. But this, and it's good, and this is a good album. I don't want to criticize it, but man, it's a Glenn Hughes solo album. So if you like Glenn Hughes, get Dead Daisies, and who knows, maybe we'll see him on tour at some point. All right, next band is Unruly Child. I think I spoke about this briefly before. It's kind of a strange name for a band, but they've been around since the early '90s in one form or another. But basically, these three guys, and one in the middle, I should say, two guys and a girl. This is Marcy Free, formerly known as Mark Free. So when this band started in 1993 with their self-titled album, which is a classic to this day, it came out at a bad time. It was the grunge era. But Mark Free was the vocalist. And then he left the band. They got Kelly Hansen, who's the lead singer in Foreigner now. Tremendous voice. And the band made an album or two with him. And then the band kind of went away for a while. Meanwhile, Mark Free was transitioning to become Marcy Free. A story that you don't need me to tell you. It's been out there for years. But Marcy came back to the band in 2010, I want to say, 2009. And they've made a string of really good albums since. And this is their most recent. This is just solid rock, melodic rock music. Bruce Gowdy on guitar, tremendous. Guy Allison is the third person you see behind here, been in the band from day one. And on this album, they get Tony Franklin to play bass, which is kind of cool, the great Tony Franklin. And this album is really 10 originals and 2 re-recordings of some old songs they had. So it's 10 new songs, just expertly crafted melodic rock music. And same with this one, which is the one that came before it. This is an album called Can't Go Home. Again, another great slice of just melodic rock. It's not heavy. It's not going to break your speakers. There's no crazy guitar work on it. It's not, proggy in any terms. It's just good melodic rock music. And I so highly recommend it. Again, Marcy Free is in her late 60s. The vocals are just fantastic. She sounds like nobody else. And really, her voice hasn't changed through her transition. It's very, very similar, if not identical. You'd never know. I highly recommend it. At least get this one, Our Glass House. Really, really good, and great lyrics too. All right, before we get to the vinyl, we're already 10 minutes in. I want to get to this next CD, the last CD I want to show you. And this one is from a very polarizing artist lately. Again, I'm not going to rebeat the beaten horse, but if you're into progressive rock, you certainly know who Steven Wilson is. For me, this is a guy who, since the second wave of progressive rock, which would have been in the early to mid 90s with his band Porcupine Tree, really helped bring prog back. Prog was alive in the 70s, obviously Genesis, ELP, Yes, etc. Love them all, Jethro Tull, all of them. But then prog went away, kind of died for a while, stayed in the background. And then in the early to mid 90s with bands like Dream Theater and Spock's Beard and Neil Morse and them, and of course Steven Wilson made a huge comeback that still continues to this day. Steven Wilson has made a string of solo albums, again, very prolific, each one completely different than the one before. And part of it is due to him never wanting, not only not to repeat himself, but he's almost, in interviews, I feel like he's almost terrified for somebody to say, oh, they've done this before. And he almost deliberately tries to be different. Again, I'm not attacking him at all, his artistry. He's a brilliant producer, brilliant songwriter, musician. He's the complete full deal. Plus, he's a member of Blackfield, which is one of my favorite bands of the last 20 years, which we're not going to talk about today. Anyway, his last albums, Wilson's last album was called To the Bone, and it kind of sent signs to his fan base that he was kind of going in a more poppy direction, and it scared some people. And then when the first singles from this came out, this was supposed to come out in 2020, was delayed by COVID. It was pretty obvious what was happening here. And then this album dropped earlier this year, maybe a month ago, 6 weeks, something. And wow, this is a electronic pop album. This is an electronic, much like Talk, early Tears for Fears even. There are very few acoustic instruments on this. This is computers and keyboards and sounds and him singing. There's a couple songs that have actual instruments in it, but most of them really don't. And it's been the most polarizing album to come out in quite some time. It's split the fan base, literally has. For me, I lean towards the I'm sorry, I don't like it camp, and I really don't. I've given this album a lot of chances. I've listened to it as a whole album more than 10 times, probably 20 times. The packaging is incredible. These quote cards and everything else. It's really amazing what you get in the package. Elton John makes a guest appearance on it, a song called Personal Shopper. It's kind of cool. Feels kind of strange to have him on there, but in any case, so Wilson's done something that he's wanted to do. He's wanted to explore his pop side, and he's done it. I just really hope this doesn't stay. I hope he again makes a pivot 180 and goes in another direction, because this album is not going to, it's not going to have staying power, as me and the boys would say back in the day. Anyway, the album is The Future Bites. I know it's doing really well on the charts and people are raving about it. Critics love it. They always loved him. Think of it what you will. For me, it's just not for me. I wish I loved it more. There are some good songs. King Ghost is very good. And I also like 12 Things I Forgot, which seems to be a favorite of those who long for the old Steve Wilson, because it's got the acoustic guitar and more of an old time feel. All right, so again, here's The Future Bites for what it's worth. I'm glad I didn't buy the vinyl. Speaking of vinyl, let's get to it. I have these split up into sections. First, 2 new releases that I want to share with you. The first one is by an indie pop artist named Kate Davis. Her debut album, Trophy, came out about a year ago. I found her, I think, on Bandcamp or something. Maybe I heard her on All Songs Considered on NPR. I don't know exactly how, but I bought the album and I loved it. She's a tremendous musician. She started as a classical bassist and turned into this pop musician, singer, songwriter. Anyway, her second album just came out. Sadly, it's not an original album. The album is called Strange Boy. Really what it is a re-recording of a complete album, Retired Boxer it was called when it first came out, by an artist called Daniel Johnston. And if you don't know who Daniel Johnston is, I'm not gonna tell you here. He's passed away sadly in his 50s, but he was for years an underground, very underground, recorded all of his albums in his living room on a cassette tape, and he worked at McDonald's and he used to give them out to people to listen to. But he got this cult following after Eddie Vedder wore his shirt, and he became this wonderful songwriter person that was kind of spreading underground. He also had a ton of mental problems, in and out of mental hospitals. He was bipolar. I mean, it's a great story. There's an unbelievable documentary that you can watch on YouTube about Daniel Johnston. You should definitely watch it. But certainly Kate Davis rubbed off on her, and she re-recorded one of his albums from front to back. It's very short, just barely 30 minutes. And it's got a song on it called True Love Will Find You in the End, the very last song. That was the song that is sort of his legacy song, Daniel Johnston. So I'm glad I have it. I think there was only like 300 copies made, and I ordered it from her website. So again, happy to have that. Kate Davis, Strange Boy. The other new one is another one from left field, complete 180 from that album. This is a band called I knew I was going to mess this up. Lycanthropy. I don't know. Can you read that? Lycanthropy. But this is, again, from Bandcamp. This is one of my genres, and it has been for years, and that's the 70s sound rock that's not hard and heavy and dirty like Deep Purple, but has some of that dirt in it, and is a little more friendly. Female and male vocals alike. The packaging is tremendous. You can see the artwork is awesome, and the songs are. I mean, it's only 8 songs. They're really, I want to say, like foresty. Like you can see that the artwork is perfect. Like it sounds like you're in the middle of a forest. I really don't know how else I can explain it. If you like 70s hard rock, and you like, maybe you don't love the harder stuff from that era, but you like just 70s rock, definitely I would go with this, Lycanthropy. The album is called Tales to be Told, and I'm really enjoying it. I've had this digitally for a while. I ordered it from their Bandcamp. I think it came from Sweden. All right, next up. All right, this is a couple of, so you see, if you've watched my channel for any number of years, you know that I've been involved in a few subscription services. When I first got back into vinyl 4 years ago, I joined a subscription service called VNYL, the Pink Box people, and it was just an awful experience. You can see those videos in my archive somewhere, and I would urge you to not join that service. To this day, I'm upset with them. The customer service was awful. The whole thing just stunk. From there, I went to a service called the Black Box Record Company. Black Box was fantastic. They reached out to me and they gave me a nice discount on my first order, and I ended up staying for 3 or 4 months. And that was fun. Again, they send you 2 albums every month based on your likes and dislikes from Discogs. So that was really cool. But then I decided I wanted to start choosing my own a little bit more, and the random thing, the curation thing wasn't working for me. So I moved to Vinyl Me Please. And I did Vinyl Me Please for a while, maybe a year. And it got to the point where Vinyl Me Please, the selections of the month were not fitting my likes. They didn't do enough rock. And I had already used up all of my exchanges for stuff that I wanted in their store. So once that was over, I said, I can't do this anymore. And then they really raised their prices up high, and I left anyway. So then from there, I went to the one that I'm still with today, and that's Vinyl Moon. If you don't know Vinyl Moon, I'm not going to give you a whole review on it right now. I wish I could. Maybe I'll do another video. This is this month's record. This month, it came with seeds you can plant. You get something different every month. You get this really cool fold out, and they curate not albums, but they make their own mixtapes, is what this is. And the artwork is tremendous. So every month you get about 10 songs. Usually it's 5 per side. I know it's embossed. You can't really, you can see that. It's amazing. And it comes on this unbelievable looking record. If you're into artsy looking records, this one here is Blue Marble. And each month they have a theme and a title and an essay that's written by the people of Vinyl Moon. It's really, really a great package. And it's 10 songs by bands you never heard of. And the good thing is you can read about each of the bands in here. There's lyrics, and you can go to their Instagram pages, and you can learn more about the artists. And I do this with my daughter, my 15-year-old. Every month we listen to the Vinyl Moon from front to back. And I usually get 2 or 3 tracks a month that I really love. It's not hard rock music. This is indie pop, dream pop, shoegaze. It's there's some techno on here, which I don't love. Rarely there's a song that I don't like. There's some instrumental stuff. But most of the stuff I really enjoy. And I highly recommend Vinyl Moon. It's $29 a month, I believe, and I'm over a year now into my subscription. The reason why I bring that up, though, is because this month, for the first time, I decided to do it again. I'm such a sucker for this stuff. I don't know if it's because of Columbia House from when I was a kid and I used to do Columbia House. I don't know. But I joined another one, and that's Bandbox. If you don't know Bandbox, Every month they have a selection of the month, a band of the month, and you can order a specific album from that band, or they send you a random one. The month I started it, I chose Steely Dan. They give you this incredible book. I can't show you every page. We're getting long in the tooth here. We're almost at 20 minutes. But you get a book about the band and an album of your choice. I chose Asia. You know this album. Everybody has it. But I never had one with a good cover. Honestly, I've had some good vinyl playing ones. The black cover gets ring wear over time. I wanted the good cover. This is a 180 gram repressing from I think 2016 or 2018. I'm really happy I have it. And that's all they do, Bandbox. They give you the album and a really cool booklet each month. You can learn about the band. My next one's coming. It's Not a Surf album, so I'm excited about that. And I'm gonna stay with them for a couple months, see how it is. So Bandbox, if you're interested. You can ask me more if you want in the comments. All right, I got two more sections here I wanna do. The first section has been something that's been talked about in the vinyl community for about a month now or even longer. And it's concerning buying albums from big box record stores instead of record stores. So I'm talking about Walmart and Target specifically. And for me, look, I'm a record guy. I have 4 local record stores that I go to on a regular basis. But if I see something in Target or Walmart that catches my eye, I'm gonna buy it. I buy records from it. I go online, I buy them online as well. So I don't want to hear anybody come out and tell me, oh, you should only support your local record stores. Because no, you should support the industry and the artist. And quite honestly, there's some stuff in Target and Walmart that's worth it. For instance, yesterday I went to Target, not intending to buy albums, but I saw something in my local Target that I'd never seen before. And that's records with a clearance sticker on them. A clearance sticker. So I bought 3 for $6.50, $7.50, and $9.50. Brand new in the shrink. The first one is REM's Out of Time. I'm not an REM fanatic. This one's on Lemonade vinyl. They're limited. I don't know what limited means. And they are obviously colored and they're remastered, they're repressed. They're not, obviously an original. This is the 25th anniversary one. Came out in 2016. $6.50. Sign me up. The Who, Greatest Hits. This is an album that's about 40 years old now, but this is a repress of it, and it's on red vinyl. So it's on a really, if you're into that kind of thing, it's in the red vinyl. And this is a repress, and sadly, it's not a complete Greatest Hits. I mean, it's The Who, and it's only a single LP. So you can imagine it's missing a lot. But I don't have a lot of Who in my collection, and for $7.50, I don't care where it is. Sign me up. It's brand new in the shrink. I'm buying it. And the last one, which I sort of regret buying since yesterday, I don't have a lot of Rolling Stones in my collection. My favorite album from the Stones is Tattoo You. I own that. Not much else. I'm more of a Beatles guy. But this Greatest Hits collection called Honk has been sitting in Target for, I guess, too long. And, well, they didn't want it there anymore, so they sold it for $9.50. I'm looking for the sticker, and I can't find it. The reason why I regret it is because this album came out a while ago, and it was 30-some songs on CD. On the vinyl, it's limited to 20 songs. And it's only from 1971 forward, so you don't get Jumpin' Jack Flash. You don't get all the 60s stuff. You're getting only the more recent stuff from 71, only the last 50 years worth. The reason why I kind of regret it is because the album is, I'm questioning the album's quality, because it said it's being released on translucent blue vinyl, which is great. I don't know if you can see this, but maybe you can. One's super translucent, and the other is not. They're not supposed to be different. Obviously, the labels are different. Oh, there you go. But you can see one's really light, and this one's not so light. Maybe you can see it there. Why are they different translucent blues? I don't like that. I have not spun this yet. I'm going to spin it. And again, I'm not looking for unbelievable audiophile sound here. I'm not. But it makes me question the quality when the two records are different colors and they're not supposed to be. And plus the song selection isn't great. I mean, you can look it up online. But again, $9.49 for a double LP, Stones, new in the shrink and everything. Absolutely, sign me up. I don't care where I'm buying it from. Which leads me to the most talked about Walmart, Target purchase people are making over the last month or so. I'm exhausted about hearing about this. But this is the Metallica reissues. Of course, it's well known by now. Walmart released 6 albums from Metallica on limited edition, Walmart exclusive, colored vinyl, etc. And they're going through the roof. People are grabbing them and they're going like crazy on the secondary market. I picked up 4 of them when I was in my local Walmart. I did not get Master of Puppets and I did not get the latest one. what is it? Hardwired, right? But I did get Ride the Lightning, which is on electric blue vinyl. This is Injustice for All, which is on Dyer's green vinyl. Very funny. Kill 'Em All, which is on Jump in the Fire Engine red vinyl. And then, of course, the classic Black album, which is on Some Blacker Marble vinyl. Anyway, these I left in the shrink. I didn't open them. My intention is not to sell them. I'm not a flipper by any means, but I have not opened them because I'm hoping to save them until they maybe increase in value and I can possibly trade them for stuff that I really want. Possibly, that's my goal. If not, I'll keep them. I don't have a couple of these on vinyl yet, and I am a Metallica fan, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if I ended up keeping them. But look, I think I spent maybe 20 bucks on each one. I think it was at Walmart. Worth to buy. Sorry if you don't like it. All right. Let's get to the main event, which for me, this is for me, the main event. For you, you might not give a crap about this. But there's a band out there in my world called Transatlantic. If you don't know them, they're the preeminent supergroup in the world of progressive rock and have been for years now. Their 5th album was announced. It's called The Absolute Universe. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story because it's been, again, other videos, been retread on this. But Transatlantic is, of course, Mike Portnoy, the best drummer alive, in my opinion. Neil Morse, possibly the greatest songwriter of the last 25, 30 years. Pete Truebas from Marillion on bass, and Roy Nastolt from Flower Kings on guitar. And they've made 4 fantastic albums. Well, 3 fantastic albums, 1 so-so album, and then they come out with this, The Absolute Universe. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because the band decided, and of course I said I wasn't going to tell the story, and I'm going to try not to. The band had all this music, and they decided rather than release it on a 5 LP set, because there was so much music, they decided to do a 2-disc 90-minute version and a 1-disc 60-minute version. But here's the but. The 2 versions are different from each other. The 60-minute version is not just an abridged version of the 90-minute. There's different lyrics, different lead singers, in some cases different songs. It's almost like they released a double album and a single album on the same day with completely different material. It's a lot of music. It's 180, 200 minutes. I don't know what it is. It's insane. The problem with it was that you couldn't just buy pieces of it and get the whole package. So I was kind of upset for a while. I didn't pre-order it because I thought they were really taking advantage of the fans. But then at the last second, I decided to splurge, and I bought the Ultimate Edition, which has everything. People have been asking to see it, so I'm going to show it to you here. All right, let me just change this view a little bit. All right, so you can see this sort of unboxing. So this is a beautiful box. Very heavy, very sturdy, very well made. All right, so the first thing you get is this folder. This little, I better move this, there you go, which is the CD. So you get the double CD, which is called Forevermore. You get the single CD, which they call the abridged version. That's called The Breath of Life. And you also get on this side a 4th CD/DVD, which is the making of documentary, as well as what they call the Ultimate Version 5.1 mix. So you can't get all of this stuff if you buy this stuff separately. You certainly can't get this if you buy one of these. So that's why I had to splurge and do this. But you also get in this box this incredible book. This is, and the camera's not gonna do it justice. These pictures are tremendous. You get all the lyrics for both the long version and the short version through all these pictures. That's a great band shot right there, by the way. Sorry guys, I know I'm moving this around a lot. I'm trying to fit it all in. Yeah, and an essay on the band written by Malcolm Dome, which is amazing. And then, if I'm gonna have to turn this over just to get these out here, you also get, all right, the vinyl. So this is the Forevermore, the extended version of the Forevermore album, and it comes on beautiful vinyl, and I love that they put it in poly sleeves. And the vinyl is also colorful. It's kind of like a charcoaly, translucent looking gray, which is kind of great. I have not played the vinyl versions yet. I'm still working through the CDs. And then you have The Breath of Life, the abridged version. And by the way, this is 3 LPs. Oh, here's the 3rd LP, sorry. Here's the 3rd LP. So Forevermore is actually 3 LPs. And then you have the short version, the abridged version, which is only 60 minutes of music. It's short, it's Transatlantic, right? And then you also get this really cool two-sided poster. One for the Breath of Life and one for Forevermore. I'm not gonna unpack it now, but it will go on the wall in the music room at some point when I get it done. This is, look, for $100, I think it's worth it. I pre-ordered this way back in, I guess, November, after waiting 2 or 3 months, deciding whether I wanted to do it or not. I'm glad I did it. The album is fantastic. It's really progressive rock for people who don't know or don't love progressive rock yet. I would start them out on Transatlantic. I know it's a lot to take in, but it's very accessible, very easy to listen to. The lyrics are fantastic. The playing is tremendous. There's not a lot of noodling. It's not super heavy. Girls can like it. If you know what I mean. If your wives always complain about taking them to Prog concerts where there's all dudes, a lot of testosterone, you can bring your wife to a Transatlantic show. I brought my wife to a Transatlantic show about 10 years ago, and she actually made it through. So look, it's very melodic, it's good stuff, it's for everybody, and I highly recommend it. Also very friendly lyrics as well. So, okay, so that's all I got, man. I only went for 31 minutes. Thank you for watching. It was a lot today. Stay tuned for more, hopefully content soon. Who knows, schedules permitting. I hope you're all doing well out there, making it through this with more great music, and I hope to see you real soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.